Perceptions, yours and theirs, equally important. What is our image? Now, why we are covering all of these points is we are laying the foundation for the questions I'm so often asked, which is, how do I play a certain hand? How do I play a king-jack? How do I play an ace-king? How do I play a medium pair? And to every one of those questions, I'm compelled to ask another 10 questions in return before I can give an answer, starting with some of what we've already covered. What's the betting pace? What's the betting stakes? What profile information do I have? Starting to take shape, we're starting to see how we make decisions. Now let's get to the next big one. What is my image? What do I mean by an image? An image goes like this. How many times have you seen people that are running to that door when they should be running to this door and they're in a casino? What am I talking about? They'll play 5 days losing, trying to get their money back. I'm stuck, I've got to get even, and they'll stay there for 5 days, fully aware of the fact that the casino doesn't have any windows or any clocks. There's not even any locks on the doors. They're never going to close. You can always come back, but everyone has this desperate, gotta get my money back image. Now, what does that do to your opponents? When you're having that kind of a night, maybe it started off that you were running bad, meaning you caught a couple of bad breaks. But then comes the twin brother of running bad, playing bad. Now, after a couple of bad plays, you start developing the most formidable opponent you'll ever have in a poker game. You. I should have bet this one last. I didn't. This time I'm going to. No, I'm going to set out. No, I didn't bet this, and that's you. You're fighting you, and the other players are fighting you. And here's their perception of you. You are a bleeding body in the water, and they are all great whites, circling down with the Jaws theme, waiting for the next possible time that you put your money in the pot, because they'll be jumping over each other to get at you. When you have an image like that, you simply cannot do almost anything. You can't bluff. You can't represent a hand. You can't in any way intimidate your opponents because they haven't seen you win. They can't wait to get into a pot with you. Now, this all sounds like an ideal time to get out of the game. But what does everyone do instead? They'll play for 6 days. In that scenario, got to get even, got to get my money back. Worst time to play. Now let's flip the script. You're having one of those nights you sat down, and as soon as you sat down, you started thinking, wow, why does anybody have a job? This is easy. The cards just started raining on you. You're winning one hand after another. Everything's falling into place. What is happening? You're gaining confidence. It's not just luck. That's a small part of it. You're gaining confidence. Your opponents are starting to fear you. Now you can bluff. Now you can represent a hand. Now you can make moves you simply can't make when your image is poor, because now your image is good. If you will, in my estimation, you are on what I call offense. You're moving the ball forward. Whereas on the other side, you're playing defense. And if your defense is so poor and so shabby that they're picking up 25 and 30 yards every single play against you, it's time to go home. If you've been playing all night long in a losing effort, and you haven't played a hand in 27 hands, and the first time you come in the pot, the floor man comes over and says, "Can I call him?" It's time to go home. It's time to go home. But what does everyone do? They'll stay 6 days in a losing effort, and in a winning effort, what happens? As soon as it starts to go people's way, they all of a sudden have a date, or they have to go to dinner, or they got to get up early tomorrow morning. They can't wait to leave when they're winning. And that's the time you want to stay. That's when you want to push it. That's when you want to use the confidence and the image and the advantage that you have, because there's so much more than you can do. Thank you for watching. I'm Roger Rod, and I'm your poker expert for Professorit.com.